When my roommate moved out, I helped him carry the last box down the stairs. It was a humid afternoon, the kind where the air in the stairwell feels stale and unmoving, and the box wasn't even heavy enough to make either of us strain. That's how unremarkable it was. No argument, no emergency. He just told me he'd been approved for a single room in another building and needed to be out by Friday. Housing delays happened all the time, so neither of us thought much of it. He didn't seem rushed or relieved, just tired, like this was another task on a long checklist. By Sunday night, his side of the room was empty, the desk bare, the bed frame stripped, the closet door left open. I rearranged my stuff and enjoyed the extra space. The room felt wider, quieter, easier to breathe in. A week later, I logged into the housing portal to submit a maintenance request for a loose outlet. The page still listed us as a double. My roommate's name was still there. I assumed the system just hadn't updated yet. Campus software lagged behind real life all the time. 2 weeks passed, still listed. I started getting emails addressed to both of us. Floor announcements, reminder notices, nothing personal. Just automated messages pulling from the roster. They arrived at the same times they always had, like nothing had changed. Then one morning, I noticed something else. The maintenance request I'd submitted showed as completed. The green check mark sat there, marking the task as finished without any sign of when it had happened. No one had come into the room while I was there, but when I checked the timestamp, it showed the work was done during a 3-hour window when I'd been in class. The outlet still felt loose. I shrugged it off. Campus systems were sloppy. Out of curiosity, I checked the building's network usage dashboard, something students could see to monitor their own devices. I'd only looked at it once before, during a Wi-Fi outage earlier in the semester. 2 active connections were listed for our room. One was mine. The other used my roommate's username. I assumed he hadn't logged out of something. A few days later, I emailed housing. I explained that my roommate had moved out weeks ago and asked when the room assignment would update. They replied within an hour. Our records show the room is still occupied. I clarified that I had watched him move out, that I helped him, that he wasn't living there anymore. They responded politely. There is no checkout on file, no accusation, no follow-up questions, just procedure. That night, I locked the door before going to sleep. I hadn't been doing that before. Not because I was scared, just because the situation was starting to feel undefined. Over the next week, nothing visible happened. The room stayed exactly the same each morning. No noises, no movement, no signs anyone else was there. But the systems kept behaving like the room was shared. Keycard access logs, visible through a student safety feature, showed entries tied to my roommate's card. Always during hours, I wasn't in the room. Late afternoons, early mornings, times that didn't overlap with my schedule. Internet activity continued. Maintenance tickets tied to our room kept opening and closing without me submitting them. Minor issues, generic entries, the kind that didn't explain anything. Then, one morning, his name disappeared from the portal. No status change, no explanation, just gone. At the same time, the extra network connection vanished. Keycard logs stopped showing entries. The room was relisted as single occupancy. Later that week, I passed 2 housing staff members talking near the elevators. One of them said quietly, "That room finally cleared itself." The other nodded. Neither noticed me standing there. I didn't report anything after that. I didn't want to know what would happen if I did. Some people leave places, others stop being counted, and sometimes, when the records finally catch up, Everyone acts like nothing was ever wrong.